Oh man, let's talk about Marina from Takopi's Original Sin. Now, the most recent episode, listen, you gotta go and watch it because there are some spicy nuclear takes that's stemming from was what this fourth grader girl did and what she got in return absolutely deserved. Here's my take. I think that so many people are so rigid in their way of thinking. They think that they can only like think a certain way and you can't accept something else. Here's what I think. I think that blonde demon gremlin absolutely deserved what she got coming. She's an absolute demon spawn. She deserves to die. Yes, that's what I feel, and I'm happy that she's dead. Yep, I am. And you know what? I can also acknowledge it's not necessarily her fault because the parents, the adults in this anime are the reason that these children turned out like that. So yes, you can absolutely be happy and satisfied and say, you got what was fucking coming to you, Marina. And then on top of that, you can also say, this is objectively wrong. What happened to that girl and how she died is objectively wrong. To kill like that is not a solution. And then you can also admit that it's the parents' fault. But so many people are like, oh, if you like say that you got like enjoyment from this girl getting justice, that like if you think that she got what she was coming, then, oh, you just don't understand the story. This is not the what the, no, shut the fuck up. You can acknowledge both things. You can know that it's objectively wrong, that parents are at fault, and the blonde demon got what was coming to her. Let's check out Angelo's take about this.
Before I jump into this particular topic, I just wanted to put it out there that the adults in this show, the teachers, the parents, are 100% to blame for what's...
Absolutely. Kids don't just turn out like this, man. It is the absence of parents and proper parenting that's caused these children to grow into these demon spawns.
Going on with the kids. I do not dispute that whatsoever. It's really sad that they're not paying attention to these children and what they're doing. And it's really frustrating to see what these kids are doing to each other.
But here's the thing, if the parents were there and actually being proper parents, then do you think that we would have the content that we call Takopi though? Would we? Because let's just get serious, right? This anime is clearly all about showing the horrors of child abuse and what happens when parents are absent and how cruel these children can be. So because of the absent parents, we get the content.
With these adults just turning a blind eye, you know? So I just wanted to put this out there before I jump into this particular topic and this particular character. I've been thinking about this for the past couple of days after I watched the first 2 episodes of Takopi's Original Sin. And I've been debating about whether I want to make a video on this specific character, and I decided to do it because after I put out my video, there was a debate in the comments that was being had, especially regarding my reaction to the second episode and how...
Let me guess. He basically said, fuck you, Marina. You bullying, not even bullying, pushing Shizuka to her death, doing God knows what happened to Chappie. Fuck you. You deserved it. I'm glad Takopi hit you on the fucking head with that brick camera. And I bet people are like, no, Michelangelo, you don't understand. That's not the point of this show. It's not her fault. The parents raised her like this. You can't be happy about this. Ugh. I hate those people so much. Emotional terrorists, that's what you are. You can acknowledge that it's not her fault, that she didn't deserve to die like that, and that it's all wrong and it's not the parents' fault. And you can acknowledge that, oh, thank God she died. Oh, thank God Takopi hit her in the head.
Oh, stuff played out in the end. Majority of the audience felt exactly how I did and were in agreement with the type of reaction I had. But there was a small minority of people who were pretty shocked and, you know, really upset at the fact that I said what I said in the video, which was
Double down, bro.
Didn't care that Marina died in the end.
Based. No, I actually did care because of how significant it was. But when he says I didn't care, it's basically saying, I have no empathy for you. After all I've seen from you and how you treat others, I have absolutely no empathy. You got what was coming. And I'm glad you're dead. That's probably a stake. I absolutely agree with that. And then you got these emotional little snowflakes coming. It's like, no, it's objectively morally wrong. It's like, ugh. You are emotional terrorist, and ugh.
And I said that she deserved what she got. So there were some people in the comments who were upset because she's a 9-year-old girl. And
that's right. She's a 9-year-old girl that did all these cruelties, and she deserves to be put down. Yup. Absolutely. Not necessarily entirely her fault. Because again, the parents are the ones that made her like this. Fuck the parents. Fuck Marina too. Get them both out of here.
Her life shouldn't have been cut short, and she should have gotten a chance to be better and all that kind of stuff. Those were
She had like 7 chances, bro. No. She deserves some chances? She deserves some chances? How are we watching the same anime? How many chances? How many chances have Takopi given her by using the camera, repeating over and over and over? Now, maybe the context of the chance is a bit different with adult, intervention, but come on now.
the points they were making, which is all well and good. It's your opinion. I totally respect it. But what I did not understand is why these people are allowed to have their opinion, right? Judgment free. Whilst us on the other side, people
Yes.
who felt like me are evil. And
Yeah, because you know why? Because online on the internet, people basically want to have this moral, ethical superiority complex over others, right? They think that if I have the most moral, most ethic, most angelic take, then I am basically admonishing you and I feel better about you, right? So that's straight up it. It's a power control thing. Some people genuinely want to crucify others for their takes because it's like lacks in morals or ethics, or that's like it's vile. And they're like, oh, I'm like this heavenly, no bad doing person. It's kind of like how also people demonize. Like, remember that one example that existed when that VTuber was eating a hash brown for McDonald's? I think her name was Rosemi or something. And it looked so cute and it was so happy. And then there comes people saying, I can't believe you would support the genocide of Palestine. And I'm like, excuse me? This example, what I'm showing you is to show you that there are people that exist online who are so chronically online that they want to have this moral obligation, that this enlightenment, that they think that they're better than you by just reaching, man. So in that context, basically McDonald's, basically if you followed like 13 separate layers, you could find that McDonald's is like donating money to like Israel and stuff. And therefore they're like, I can't believe this girl who's eating a hash brown is, supporting the genocide of Palestine, which is like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then basically take that. It's basically virtue signaling. Exactly. It's virtue signaling to make themselves feel better about themselves. They don't care about a productive conversation. They don't care about any of that. They just want to feel better about themselves online because their lives are fucking miserable personally.
bad people for not feeling anything when Marina died. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And it
Yep.
has to do with the specific fact that she's a child. These
Yep.
people on the other side are excusing her actions for this.
Because she's a child. Nah. That child deserves to be fucking put down in this context of the anime. What she did was absolutely cruel. And I would say, where's your empathy towards Shizuka? Where's your empathy towards the dog? Where's the empathy towards other characters and Takopi as well, man? Straight up. Because so many people will be like, oh my god, I can't believe you're like so happy that Marina died, man. And I'm like, I am happy. And they're like, where's your empathy? I'm like, empathy? I'm so empathetic towards the other characters who are clearly victims of this monster spawn. Again, she's not completely at fault for how she turned out like that because it's the parents at the end of the day. But I think both the parents and Marina, they deserve to get fucking taken out.
Simple fact that she's being abused at home by her mom, and the fact that she's a child, which, to speak on that, I do understand what she's going through. I said it twice in the video. I understand that Marina is being abused at home. I understand it's unfair, but it doesn't give her the right to bully.
Yes, and then basically the emotional terrorist will then pull up and basically say shit like, because again, they live in such a rigid structure of like ideologies. They have to group these things together and they cannot be decoupled. And what are these grouping we're talking about? Basically, because she's a child, she can do no wrong. They cannot comprehend the fact that we can acknowledge that she's a fucking monster and that it's the parents' fault too, right? That's what they just cannot seemingly just be able to understand.
Shizuka, and as somebody who went through bullying myself, that's why I felt so strongly about my opinion in my reaction video.
There's
and
the
emotional
empathy.
as well. Heck, I freaking cried my eyes out when Shizuka self-deleted herself because of everything that Marina and those kids were doing to her, I'm not a heartless person, so I really don't understand why.
I would say because he has a heart and because he's able to empathize with his personal, experiences of these bullyings, right? That he can have these takes. And I think that people who are genuinely protecting Marina and saying like she has this full immunity because she's a child, you have no personal stakes in this. You've never actually encountered anything like this. I hope something like this happens to you so you can also understand how real people that live through these real experiences can that's how they feel.
It's not okay for me to have the type of opinion I did in regards to Marina getting her karma. The minority of people who are not okay with the type of reaction I had, I don't understand why it's not okay for them to understand how it is that I felt. I understand how they feel, right? So
because they are honestly As much as they want to feel like they're empath and that like they have this like deep emotional understanding, they don't. Because if they did, because it's such a simple thing to be able to understand. Again, it's this idea that they cannot decouple their thoughts. They're so stuck in their way of thinking because that's the absolutes that they live in, because they don't actually have real life experiences. They simply live in an isolated chamber where they think that these theoretical absolutes and somehow taking the moral stance is like virtue signaling, and that makes them better compared to other people online. It's just straight up that. It's just loser, pathetic, no touching grass behavior.
Why can't you give me the same type of judgment-free understanding, you know? Because y'all are willing to excuse everything that Marina has done, right? But for me, somebody who's not willing to do that, does that make me a bad person? I even had to get a second opinion in real life. You know, I spoke to my mom about it and I showed her the show and we watched it together. We cried again with the whole scene that happened.
Damn, bro made his mom watch Takopi. God damn, bro. Jesus Christ. I mean, it's a great anime, right? But it's just go.
Shizuka self-deleting and everything. And she understood why is it that I felt the way I felt. I mean, even the joke I made about, you know, bringing a couple of Glocks, you know, and
absolutely, Takopi, bring me a fucking set of Glocks, bro. You got any of those alien tech? And here's the thing, right? You know why most people are just agreeing with this guy while the vocal minority don't? Because most people are reasonable people that are able to empathize and understand and contextualize what we're saying. But then there's a small vocal minority who are, again, the most abhorrent, just pathetic losers in society that just want to feel better about others through virtue signaling, and they have no real life experiences. They have no actual ability to empathize. But it's so ironic because their entire argument comes from like this empathy position of like, oh, it's just a child. I can't believe you do it to that Marina girl. It's just so funny to me.
Really piecing up these kids for doing what they're doing to Shizuka. I know that's a messed up joke and it's messed up to say, of course, but I'm not saying that because I'm a psychopath. I'm saying that because I care. And I mean, of course, naturally, I'm a rational thinking human being. I wouldn't do that. But this show is triggering me to the point of feeling those type of emotions.
It's also a way of coping, right? These kind of dark humor, the dark comedy. When I'm watching and I say, Takopi, you got a fucking AK, it's coming out of frustration and anger. Am I actually saying that Shizuka should get a fucking Glock and shoot down Marina? I think that'd be fucking hilarious, but in a very twisted way. But it's also about like this coping of like, I can't believe what I'm watching. This is so fucking insane.
Because it sucks to see somebody being bullied and tortured like that, man. Especially as somebody who's gone through bullying as a kid. You know? But I don't know, man. It's kind of interesting to me to see how some few people were upset at the type of reaction I had. You know, even somebody wrote me a comment saying they're unsubscribing from my channel.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out, bro. Get the fuck out of my face. It's just so funny to me when random ass chatters, bro. So funny when random ass chatters come in and say like, oh, I can't believe you said this. I'm gonna unsubscribe. Do you think you matter to me? You are a fucking statistic. If this is what's getting you filtered, please get the fuck out of my channel. I don't want to hear. You know what? I'll do you a favor. I ban you. Whenever I read comments like that of people crashing out in the comment section saying stupid ass shit like that, I block them. You think that you're unsubscribing? No, I'm deleting your entire history from existence because the last thing I want is to read for the opinions of a retard like you.
Because of the fact that I laughed in the end of episode 2, you know, when the whole scene was played out in a comedic fashion, you know, the music choice they had and how everything played out, it was funny. Am I the only one who felt that way?
It was very cathartic. It was very shocking, right? And I think that laughing, it's not necessarily just about you finding humor in that, but because, again, it's like this coping mechanism, like, what the fuck is going on? She's just smiling for the first time and actually happy, and there's such a nice jovial music, and Takopi, this alien, doesn't even understand, you know, human society and is wondering, why is she smiling? Oh, because, you know, Marina is dead? Oh, okay, let's go kill more people, is what Takopi's probably thinking, right? And then there's happy music playing in the background, and this, everything of this combined, it's so absurd, it's so insane that you can't help but smile or laugh out of both entertainment, you know, the shock factor, the humor, again, coping mechanisms of how messed up everything is.
Maybe I am, but anyway, it is what it is. But moving back to Marina and the reason why it's really difficult for me to really forgive her or excuse her behavior towards Shizuka.
Her behavior is never excused. I can understand why she's doing that, where she's coming from. Doesn't mean she had to do that though. It is absolutely the most vile, extreme behavior from this demon spawn. And of course, it's a fucking fictional story. Of course, they're going to try to dial up the exaggeration factor to really portray, you know, this story, this environment that the author had in mind.
It's the simple fact that the way they've written her character and presented her character, I know she's a 9-year-old kid, but she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how old she is. It doesn't. If she was a lot older, obviously she's gonna have less immunity. This idea that a child doesn't know what she's doing is so ridiculous to me, because yes, I do agree that, like, listen, the age of consent exists for a reason, because their brains are not fully developed enough to understand exactly what they're completely doing, right? And therefore you can get groomed. That's the entire point of, why people, their brains don't even fucking fully properly develop until their 20s, and then they realize that, holy shit, the thing that I did at 18, it's actually so fucking stupid. In this context, though, I do agree that she may not completely be aware of what she's doing, but she's still doing it, though. She's doing acts of just evil, just monstrosity. And even though she's a minor, and even though she's a child, a 4th grader, a 9-year-old, and even though her parents have basically created an environment to make her turn like this, I think she deserves to get fucking put down. I do. I think she should be put down in every single situation that this exists in, and I believe that the parents should be put down too. Those people have no fucking, business having kids. And watching a show like this also made me turn into like a super fascist in the way that I'm like, you know what? I think that the government should have some sort of like standardized test and some sort of like system to prevent people like this from having kids. And now you're gonna call me a Nazi, right? I have a lot of extreme takes like this too. It's because at the end of the day, it boils down to, I don't trust the average person to be able to raise a kid. I don't trust the average person to even drive a car in the street. To give the people a power like that to just kill someone else without them fucking up, it's bizarre to me. And all of this just comes down to the fact that average people are stupid. They're ignorant and they're fucking insane. And to give them anybody this opportunity to just have kids like that, and then they grow up in neglect, they grow up in this fucked up situations, and then it's a cycle. It's a cycle of shitty parents raising shitty kids, and then those kids being stupid, and then repeating the same problem over and over again. It's disgusting. It's vile.
They've written her to look like she knows what she's doing. This is a kid, right, who was willing to stab another kid's eye.
Yeah.
Even though it was Takopi who had transformed into Shizuka, that's how far this kid was willing to go.
Yep.
This is a kid who willingly let herself be bitten by a dog with a smile on her face, mind you, so this dog could be taken away and put down so she could just hurt that other girl.
Like the amount of just basically the intent, right? Do you understand how just maniacal you have to be to do these things with intent? Like if you accidentally hit Shizuka because you were angry, like one-off like slap because she was really angry about a situation, that'd be different. But there's like premeditated. Like there is such a crazy intent and her deriving pleasure from it and wanting to do it more in the most just cynical and the most demonic way possible. Absolutely, she knows what she's doing.
Now, at some point, right, we have to draw a line. There has to be a line at some point. Hence the reason why I didn't at all feel sorry for Marina. She could have chosen at any moment to stop bullying Shizuka. And I understand, again, I said in my video twice that I know that she's being abused by her mother. I know that it's unfair, but it doesn't give her the right to do all she's doing to Shizuka.
Yes.
She could use another outlet to release all the anger she feels, or tell a teacher, right? Or heck, even go to the cops. Like I said, this is a...
But in this show, right, the adults don't do anything. And yeah, that's the thing too, right? This isn't the only way to cope with your home situation. It doesn't matter if you're a minor or not. There are other things that you could do, but she chose to just... Not bully. This is like beyond bullying what she did to Shizuka.
Kid who's smart enough to calculate and let herself be bitten by a dog so that she could hurt the other girl.
The scheming, man. The planning.
This is a kid who's willing to go to the point of stabbing another kid's eye out, bro. So excuse the hell out of me for not feeling bad at the fact that she died at the hands of Takopi.
I think that if you don't agree with this take, that if you truly don't understand why people feel vindicated when Marina died at the end of episode 2, I think that like there's something wrong with your brain, right? I think that most average people are reasonable enough to understand that like this girl deserved what she got coming, right? The way that she turned out like this is her parents' fault, but what she did also is inexcusable, and I'm glad that she died. Should be the most intuitive, reasonable assumption that anyone could make. If you then go and try to protect this demon spawn no matter what, and don't understand this, I think that there's genuinely something wrong with you. there is some disconnect in your brain, most likely because you are, again, a basement-dwelling keyboard warrior that doesn't have any actual ability to empathize with anybody. You sit in your fucking room and act like a fucking moral, ethical, visionary who is willing to just do all these virtue signalings without having real life experience, and then you get mad at people for having the most reasonable and normal takes.
She got her karma. Maybe you guys can let me know, but since when is karma age exclusive?
She got what she was coming, bro. Fuck around and find out.
I missed the meeting when they confirmed that karma was just for adults? Come on, bro. Come on. I'll even ask you guys this question for those of you who sympathize with Marina, right?
Okay.
In that moment where she was beating on Shizuka, what if Takopi didn't intervene, right?
Then we would have just repeated it all over again, man. But this time we couldn't repeat, right? Because the camera... Well, I don't know if the camera was broken before then or not. I think it was after she hit... Takopi hit Marina with the camera that's broken. But yeah, if we would have repeated it over and over again, we would have been this eternal loop of Shizuka dying over and over again by the 7th day.
If she had beaten Shizuka to the point of killing her, what then? What then?
And here's another opportunity that I present to you, right? This doesn't have to be the only, timeline that we go in. What if there is a timeline where we realize that there is no way that this girl is going to stop, basically murdering Shizuka by the 7th day? But imagine if there was some sort of intervention, right? Magically, there was some actual fucking adult or other people that could get involved and changed her way, the way she thought stuff, and we were able to become friends. At that point, I'll be fine with it. I'll be like, you know what? Yes, this is great. She's getting the actual rehab she needs. She's getting the help she needs. And now we can have a peaceful resolution. But the story obviously isn't going that direction. Therefore, both timelines, both outcomes that I just described, I'm totally down for it. It's just that people think that they think that this kid just needs to die no matter what. That's what they think. I don't think like that. I think that she got what was coming, and if she wanted to have an actual resolution, that would have been great too.
After everything she's done up until that point, how can you not hate her? You see, what I don't understand is why some people are making me feel bad for hating this character, just because she's a kid. That doesn't matter to me, man.
So stupid.
It doesn't excuse all that she's done to Shizuka. It just doesn't. Again,
she's a 9-year-old child, so no matter what she does, it's totally immunity. It's such a fucking brain dead take, bro. Your logic at the end of the day is, but age, but child. Yeah, I know. So fuck the parents and fuck the kid too. Both of them deserve to just go to hell.
Just like I said in the beginning, the adults are 100% to blame. I mean, everything that's going on with them is the reason why these kids are the way they are. But I'll even pose this question to you. Shizuka's life is pretty shitty, right? Her mom is an escort, right? She doesn't give a damn about her. Her father is no longer around, but you don't see her going to bully anyone in school. Right? Marina is a smart kid. I mean, which 9-year-old knows what an escort is? You guys remember what she said to Shizuka?
That you're a slut.
When she came through to get herself bitten by Chappie, it was something along the lines of, oh, so you're out here whoring too at night, huh? Must run in the family. Which 9-year-old talks like that, bro?
Well, this is a work of fiction, right? So obviously, like, Marina, girls like Marina, I don't think really exist in real life. Now, there may be some extreme circumstances, but obviously, these characters are going to be more intelligent than normally. That happens in, any anime.
Oh, which 9-year-old is so calculative and smart enough to concoct a plan for them to get bitten by a dog with a smile on their face so that they could just hurt that other girl?
Premeditated, intent.
It doesn't matter what's going on in her home. It's sad, it's tragic, I understand it. But the point I'm trying to make here is Marina could have made a choice. We all have a choice, whether you're a kid, whether you're a teenager, whether you're an adult.
Thank you, Walter White, for the Prime for the 7 months. And you know what? Michelangelo's right. There's a choice that Marina could have made, and she decided to make the worst choice possible. And then here's the argument, right? Because this is a very interesting point that Michelangelo's bringing up. The fact that she has a choice and the fact that she is so intelligent and aware of what she's doing as a 9-year-old kid. Right? So if you are right now going to say like we have to acknowledge that she is absolutely an intelligent and aware person that knows what she's doing, then you cannot say that she doesn't know what she's doing, that she made these choices intentionally, right? The immunity aspect of a child not knowing what she's doing can never be derived from this specific example where Marina again has just full intent. Absolutely she does.
Can make a choice. She could choose to go talk to a teacher about what's
But again, in this show, that would accomplish nothing because the adults don't do anything
going on at home. She could choose to go talk to the cops about what's going on. She could choose to go talk to other parents about what's going on.
In a real world situation, that may work, but in this anime, it would never work because the parents and the adults in this show are all just designed to basically be absent to create this extreme environment of child abuse.
Is the point I'm trying to make. And that's why I hate her so much for choosing the path that she's chosen. And it frustrates me so much because she pushed Shizuka to off herself, bro.
Multiple times.
And if it makes me a bad person for not feeling bad when Takopi did what he did to her, then I'll just die on that hill. I guess I'm a bad person.
No, Michelangelo's not a bad person. This is the most reasonable take again that you can have that comes from a person that's actually experienced these things, the ability to empathize. If you can empathize towards, Marina, why can't you empathize for Shizuka and everyone else? It's again, the most brain-dead vocal minority coming in with these stupid-ass takes because, again, they have no fucking ability to empathize.
And I understand that her mother molded her to be the way she is.
Kill the mom too, bro. That's our next target. Let's get the camera and take the mom down.
Right? But like I said, we have a choice. She can make a choice. Shizuka is not going to bully anybody, and her life is shitty too, man. Damn, I'm so heated.
Yeah, we're getting heated.
But you understand. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. I've had a lot of time to think about this. I even talked to my mom about it, and she understood my perspective, But
yeah, because again, you guys are normal, reasonable people. Don't take random fucking vocal minority comments from the YouTube comment section. No. They're the crazies, bro.
Anyway, I guess it is what it is, man. I just wanted to make this video to explain my side further and see if you guys understand how it is that I feel. Because I have people saying that they're unsubscribing or
please leave. You are absolute menaces of society if you don't understand this take. I do not want you here. Get the fuck out.
Saying that they don't like me anymore because of the opinion I had and the fact that I said that Marina deserved what she got. Like I said, since when is karma age exclusive, bro?
Yep. And you know what? More people are now going to appreciate Michelangelo because of this doubling down of this take that is so unfiltered and raw and comes from their heart. For those couple people unsubscribing, you are just the lowest quality audience that I'd never even want to even have you around. But then the more you do shit like this and you show like your true stance, people realize and they'll brigade and they'll like band with you, and then you're like the team bonding spirit in your community becomes stronger. So it's better this way.
Since when? Tell me. This is a kid who pushed another kid to off themselves, and now when they get offed, I'm a bad person for not feeling bad that happened to them? Come on, bro. Come on. I'd even pose another example on you guys, right?
Okay.
Let's say your brother or your sister is going through the same thing that she...
See, if they had that same direct life experience, then they could understand. But again, it's the inability of these fucking basement-dwelling keyboard warriors that think they know everything about society by just surfing on fucking Reddit and Twitter. They would never understand until they actually face something like this.
Shizuka is going through the exact same thing. And then tragically, your brother or sister decides to off themselves. And you know the child who is specifically responsible for pushing your brother or sister to that edge. What would your first natural reaction be?
I'm pushing you off too. Absolutely. I'm not this moral, high ground person that's gonna be like, oh, but they're just a kid. It's fine that you murdered my little sibling because you're a child too. Oh, it's okay. Nah. I'm taking out their entire family.
Will it be to call the cops? Will it be to talk to the teachers? Will it be to talk to the parents of that kid? Those are the right things to do, of course. But deep down, you know very well that you'd like to subject that kid to the same type of pain they put your brother or sister through, to the point of them self-deleting.
Eye for an eye. And I know it's wrong. I know that it is just objectively wrong because the cycle of vengeance will never end. You keep doing an eye for an eye and everyone's gonna go blind. But primitively in our DNA as fucking primates, man, this is how we feel. Even a monkey understands, bro, when they're being done dirty. You give a monkey one banana and the other two, you know what the other monkey is gonna say? This is fucking unfair. Even they can understand. Why can't you?
You can't lie to me and tell me you won't. That is your loved one that has been pushed to that extent of offing themselves. There is no way you can tell me that you would feel like demolishing the kid responsible for pushing your brother or sister to that extent.
Oh, but it's easy to say that though when you're basically just typing from your little, sheltered keyboard, you're shouting across the monitor and saying, oh, I'm no longer watching you. You're such a bad person for having these takes. Again, it's just get the fuck out of here, man.
There's just no way. Anyway, guys, that's the video. I just wanted to talk about this and give you guys my opinion and stance on it. I still stand by everything I said in that video.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see how things play out as we keep going with Takopi.
Yeah, this is gonna get really interesting now because now there is no redoing things. And Takopi is realizing that killing off Marina made Shizuka happy. Takopi has no understanding of this is good or bad. He just wants to make Shizuka happy. So now with this twist, it's like, Where are we going, man?
Takopi's original sin. I mean, now he's offed Marina, and there are no more do-overs now that the camera is broken. So I'm curious to see how stuff is gonna go
crazy,
moving forward.
man.
I really hope that moving forward, Takopi doesn't see the solution to making Shizuka happy is offing people, because
I think it is, bro. I think straight up we're gonna be going murdering, you know, Marina's lackeys who are also bullying Shizuka like that, and it's gonna get wild. I there is no good ending to this. This truly is, you know, wasn't there like a biblical story of what was his name? Were there like two brothers, Abel and Cain or something? I forget, but it all comes down to the original sin. And I know the original sin also kind of like relates to like how Adam and Eve, the forbidden fruit, and how you're not supposed to do it. But there's also like the murdering of your brother and how that just started this like evil, like, you know, genesis, right? So this kind of thing, right, with Takopi did to Shizuka, I feel like that kind of is that. It's like a reflection of that. It's also fun. It's interesting because everything happens on the seventh day, and you know, in Christianity religion, the seventh day, it's like the holy day of rest and everything. Anyways, shit's getting crazy.
Naturally, that's not right. So yeah, I hope that's not the route we're gonna go, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, much love, guys. Really appreciate you for checking out this particular video and hearing my side of things and my opinion. It's just an opinion at the end of the day, and if my opinion makes me a bad person,
get the fuck out.
So be it, I guess. Anyway, much love, guys. Take care. Peace out. Stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll see you guys next time.
Based, bro. I'm so glad that Michelangelo has the exact same take that I did. I was absolutely just so full of vindication and just vengeance, and I felt so happy when that blonde demon died at the end of episode 2. At the same time, I can acknowledge that this is objectively wrong, and the path that we're going down is not a good path. But again, deep inside, I just hate that girl. I hate what the parents are doing too. They all deserve to die, and I can acknowledge that this is wrong, right? That is the nuance and the sophistication that you as a human being should be able to have, rather than being stuck into these rigid ways of thinking where you're coupling this, oh, it's a child, so a child can do no wrong. No, it's a child, and a child can do something wrong. A child deserves to have proper parents and proper parenthood, and that should have never been like this, but because it's too late, she deserves to get put down. That's my fucking final take, and if you don't agree with me, get the fuck out of my face. This is the first time that I've seen Michelangelo's videos. A lot of people constantly mention him for being very like analytical and very, you know, commentary based, similar to my reactions. So first time watching this video, yeah, I see where you're coming from. Very well-spoken guy and great takes, man, overall. That's it. Anyways, please check out Michelangelo. I hope that more reaction channels, you know, give their takes like this and make videos so we can just keep farming the content. Go check out their content. Give them a like if you did. See you next time.